Nothing is impossible until we fail. And the only way we can fail is when we stop trying. That's a quote that I live by. And it teaches me perseverance and courage and the mindset of an overcomer. Hey everyone, welcome back to my platform. I'm Rufin K. Mayala, and I am glad to have each and every one of you here as we will talk about the quote that I just shared in the beginning. And we'll try to break it down, right? And I heard this actually somewhere from a movie that I was watching. But in the part of the movie, it only said nothing is impossible until we fail. Then it got me thinking, that's true. Nothing is impossible until we fail. But really, what is failure? Because a lot of people tend to think that failure is just, oh, I failed one time when I was doing this or when I was doing a test and things like that. And that could be a failure. But I thought about really what failure is, right? Let's go to the dictionary. And maybe we can see more with with this topic actually on failure. Because last time we talked about success and all those things, I actually want to talk about this one, failure. All right. According to the dictionary, I like Webster. I like Webster better. According to Webster, failure means a state of inability to perform a normal function. Keyword here, inability. They give us, of course, examples and things like that. With that being said, nothing is impossible until we fail. That is telling us the mindset of you can do it all as long as you don't fail. But now, can we really define what failure is? And the only way I can define what failure is when I think of the moment you stop trying. Because think about it, every single day we go to work. Some days are not good, some days are good. But we know for sure the next day we're going to come back and do the same thing with the hope to succeed at it, to be successful at it. I think it was Michael Jordan who said, you miss 100% of the shot you don't shoot. I don't know if I said it correctly, but I think that was him. Just think about it. And Brother Branham teaches us that he respects a man that falls 7 times and get back up 7 times. The only way we can fail is if we stop trying. That's failure. I'll tell you a story. I went to college at Anderson University, and my goal was to study law. I started I did a double major in criminal justice and political science, even though they had pre-law, but I was not so much into pre-law. After a year there, it was a tough one. I thought, college would be like high school with the classes, but I realized real quick, the overloading assignments and everything did not allow me to have much time. So I started flunking and not getting the grades that I wanted, right? But I still passed in everything. And it got to a point where in my life, I couldn't stay at the same school anymore because I was not meeting the GPA criteria. I mean, I was like at a 2.5-ish something. So I was not meeting the GPA criteria. So I was either going to be kicked out or I was going to transfer. And that was like one of the darkest times in my academy journey. So I went ahead and applied to a new school, but to do a different degree because I thought law was just going to be too hard for me. It was just going to be too tough for me. So I went ahead and applied to teaching so I can start teaching, because at the time I was working as a substitute teacher also. So I just thought, well, I'm already doing the job, might as well just commit fully and get an education with that degree or with that career and start a career in there. But within me, deep inside of me, I've always dreamt of being a lawyer, going to school, studying law. It has always been a dream and passion for me. But now I just thought, well, let's sidetrack, let's put a pause on that, or let's just stop that, drop it, because it doesn't seem like it's going to work out, right? And there's nothing wrong with stopping a journey that does not seem to be successful. There's nothing wrong with that. Sometimes it just does not fit your personality, your nature. And sometimes you just have to derive from it and take another path. But at the moment, for me, law has always been a dream. For me to take that path was giving up on my dream, on my childhood, on the kid that I was thinking of becoming a lawyer. And so I started the path as a teacher, going to school. But then it just didn't seem right. Something was off. Sometimes, right, the easiest path is not always the best path. The easiest path is not always the best path. For me to start a journey in law and dropping it for another one, was failure, because I stopped trying. I stopped giving my best after just 1 year. Not to say that teaching is wrong or not, but to stop what I started and still had the passion for, the dream for, to go on another journey was failure. Not because I changed major, but because I stopped trying. That's the key to failure. The moment you stop trying, that's when you start failing. That's the only way. But that passion and fire and dream and that little kid of me that will barely let me sleep at night, knowing that there's a path that I've always dreamed of that I left behind for another one, that little kid always reminded me. It was as if Lord has always been calling for me. So after a couple of months, and also I joined the military, so it kind of like gave me like 6 months of break from school. But after a couple of months, I came to the realization of what I actually needed, what would give me peace, what would give me joy. I had learned that I would rather go on a journey that I'm passionate about than go on a journey that will only give me money without passion, because then I won't be able to enjoy what I'm doing. I know they say money makes people happy, but not always. Money can pay your bills, money can do all those things, but money cannot heal you mentally, cannot heal you emotionally. And that's just the real truth. So I woke up to my senses, I got back up and decided to try one more time. I went to college and finished with a legal studies degree, where every single class was passionate. I enjoyed it all. Torts, family law. The hardest one was the writing and research. Legal writing and research. I did that like 2 times. Well, I did the advanced and the regular one, the intro. But just to say, right, and after that, when I graduated, I'm glad I can say I graduated with a legal studies degree. The younger self me, the kid me, can look at me and be proud of that. Now, that's not the end of the journey, because of course there's law school and all those things. But just to say, right, I got back up and continued on, finished the journey that I started originally when I got out of high school. Now that I'm done with that journey, I can go ahead and start in another journey. I would not consider the journey that I did, though there was a time when I went down, there was a time when I gave up. That does not mean that I failed in that journey. Why? Because I got back up and continued the journey. You only fail when you stay down. That's the only moment the only way you fail. When you stay down, you stop trying. Nothing is impossible until we fail, and the only way we can fail is if we stop trying. Keep that in mind. Search within yourself that passion that had you start that first journey. Search within your heart, in your mind, what that vision that God probably gave you regarding that journey. Search in yourself to try to find that fire that had you go on that journey. From there, get back up and get back in the journey. Lastly, let me close with this story of the young rich ruler. I mean, not the young rich ruler, the prodigal son. Just kind of that to ignite something within each and every one of you. We know the Bible teaches us of the prodigal son. He lived in a house full of riches and everything. He had all that he wanted. But one day he went to his father and asked him, I want my inheritance. I don't want to stay here no more. I want to discover myself, discover the world. And his father told him, go ahead, son, I will give you it. But if you want to stay here, you are always welcome. This is your father's house. Whatever you have need of will be granted and given to you. But he made up his mind. I wanted to go discover the world. I want to go discover myself. There's nothing wrong with that sometimes. But sometimes we have to realize what we have in our hands. Sometimes getting used to what we have can be the worst thing or the worst decision that we can make, or the worst action. So his father gave him his inheritance, and he went around the world, discovered and clubbing and doing all these things, being that playboy with the money and all this stuff. And he got broke. Everything that has a beginning has an end. He lost all his money. His friends left him. He was no more that guy in the city that can pop the bottles and have party every single night, travel all the week, every weekend. He was no longer that person. And the Bible teaches us that he found himself eating with pigs. Keep in mind, he was up here in his father's house, had everything that he needed. decided to take his inheritance. Go ahead. Maybe in his mind, he went a little bit higher than when he was in his father's house. Success. Here we are. That's his successful path, his beginning. But when he found himself with the pig, eating with the pig, the lowest form of life, or the lowest form of his journey, the lowest path of his journey, when he found himself there after many days, he looked around him. Remember, I said in the beginning of this story, sometimes we get used to our environment, and that can be the biggest mistake and action or thought that we could have. But then in this big place, eating with pigs and things, dirty clothes, have nothing, he looks around him and see there's a difference. I come from somewhere where I didn't have all these things. I was not in this position. I was not as low as I am, where my least desire was a command to people. He looked around him, and within him he remembered, I have a father somewhere. Even if I go to him as a servant, he would accept me. Failure for him would have been to stay there, put pride on himself that I'm going to try to do this on my own. There's nothing wrong with that. But failure for him was to accept his stage, that stage of his life. But to recognize that I have a helping hand somewhere. That's where we see the real warrior. We see the real son. We see the real fighter, the real conqueror, the overcomer. Is when you realize that you are low, that you failed, and you get back up. You go ahead, let's try this one more time. He went back home and he was accepted. Same thing with Samson. At his peak, he was feared in all countries. The Philistine knew about him. This guy killed a lion with his bare hand. Thousands of people, and he failed. When he went down, blinded him, cut his hair. He got to his weakest point of life. But then before everything ended, in his prayer, he said, God, let's try this one more time. Just once more. That's a conqueror. So if you find yourself in a position where you're going down, just keep in mind, I'm not staying down. I'm getting back up. Let's try one more time. Put pride aside. Take yourself out of the way and get back up. Nothing is impossible until we fail. And the only way we can fail is if we stop trying. Friends, it was your host, Rufin K. Mayala. Thank you for tuning in. I'll see you in the next episode or the next podcast video. Bye.